Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I real quickly wanted to discuss. We spoke yesterday about the Dallas Mavericks wanting to fill a starting point guard, bridge type guy to be their lead playmaker while Kyrie Irving recovers from a torn ACL. However, they also want that guy to be a future off-ball or pairing mate to Kyrie Irving. Now, I jokingly, half serious, said like they should go after a young guy entering his fourth year of his rookie contract, like a Jaden Ivey, that you would assume the team that he's on is probably not going to pay him or would have to make some tough decisions to pay the player. However, the Mavericks have trade interest in Jrue Holiday, Lonzo Ball, and Chris Paul. To get Jrue Holiday under contract, that would have to involve moving Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington at the very least to make the salary work. Lonzo Ball, you could probably make the salary work moving one of them and a Jaden Hardy or somebody else, and Chris Paul would probably come on a veteran minimum. Now, this report is coming from Marc Stein of the Stein line. The quote goes exactly like this. League sources tell Marc Stein of the Stein line, Dallas is expected to at least explore whether there are any feasible trade pathways to Boston's Jrue Holiday. Complicated as that would likely be given the 3 years, $104 million still left on Holiday's contract, while also maintaining an interest in a far more reasonable trade target, as we discussed on the Dallas Mavs podcast, Lonzo Ball, who's making $20 million. Another name to monitor for Dallas, Chris Paul, aka the point guard, the free agent to be, just turned 40 on May 2nd, or my apology, May 6th. But Paul also just played and started 82 games in his maiden season as a San Antonio Spurs. So with that being said, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on the whole situation. If you were the Dallas Mavericks, what would you do? And if you didn't watch yesterday's video, that's what's going to be the rest of this video, talking about what potentially could be the pathway Dallas does. You'll see tomorrow or today or some day in the future a video come out clipped from the 2-hour video I did with Eric Pincus discussing pathways for Dallas. Hope you guys have a great day. Ciao. So the Dallas Mavericks are looking for a guard to complement Kyrie Irving when he comes back. I assume Spencer Dinwiddie will return, but Kyrie Irving is going to be out for the foreseeable future, maybe all next season or most of it. And I've heard rumors of Cole Anthony for Daniel Gafford deal that then reroutes Daniel Gafford to Los Angeles. But the other thing is, what if they try to find a guy who not only complements, but eventually succeeds Kyrie? That's what I have interest. Also, would it be smart, maybe instead of trading for someone who's already been signed to a contract, you trade for a young guy? I want to hear your thoughts. Because the young guy, like, Jaden Ivey's not getting extended by Detroit, right? Or is Detroit going to be willing to pay two guards? I'm very curious. So the report we're hearing is coming from Marc Stein, line, Jake Fischer, saying that the priority in free agency for the Dallas Mavericks is re-signing starting point guard Kyrie Irving. After that, the team's next priority is adding someone who can start as the leading ball handler until Irving returns from the torn ACL he suffered this past season. Dallas is looking for a fill-in starter until Irving returns. Ideally, that player will be then able to move into a complementary off-ball role or on-ball role, either playing with Irving or backing him up. Although the Mavericks will be somewhat limited in how much they can pay for such a player, they will be able to offer a starting role followed by considerable playing time after Irving returns. In addition, Dallas is intending to push for a playoff spot behind a healthy Cooper Flagg and a healthy Anthony Davis and number 1 pick Cooper Flagg. Winning, added playing time, and a clear role are combinations that could be the deciding factor for free agents to sign in Dallas. So besides those people, what if they just wanted to go into free agency and sign someone? Again, their best trade chips that allegedly, besides PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, who they're basically trying to flip for guys on cheaper long-term deals to create cap flexibility and just to replace their production, because Gafford has been replaced by Lively, and then you could say PJ Washington, they have a plethora of forwards that have been able, if you'd like to say, able to replace his production. Now, the point guard market's interesting.
I think D'Angelo Russell's staying in Brooklyn. Like, he would be a very interesting fit, as after being traded to Brooklyn, he put up worse numbers actually with the Nets than he did with the Lakers. But when he's playing with peak confidence, he can be a crafty scorer from three and mid-range and be a confident bucket getter. This past year was just a really bad year. Tyus Jones is another option for them, who maybe they could get on a year prove-it deal, who's a safe point guard with a good assist to turnover ratio, my apology, but didn't exactly excel in his 1 year starting audition with the Suns due to his lack of defense. And that might keep him as a veteran minimum signing this summer. Regardless, he's an effective, solid backup floor general who can be a spot starter thanks to his passing and shooting ability off the dribble. I doubt this is a team that would be interested with Russell Westbrook, who this past year played more off the ball. It was a lot to focus his energy on causing havoc defensively and on the glass. He had a solid season in Denver as a six man. He still took too many random shots, and he had a bad turnover here and there that cost him his teams, but cost him team his wins. I think a guy in Chris Paul who played 82 games this season is impressive, especially due to the fact that he's like 40 almost, or 39, and the mileage on his body. But he still put up decent marks of 8 and 8 and 4 and 1/2 steals on 42 and 37 from three. So that one's interesting. And I think Detroit's going to keep Dennis Schroeder, who fit really well there. And I've already mentioned that I think Spencer Dinwiddie is a veteran guard who's got good size that the Mavericks will probably keep because he can hit shots, play both guard positions on or off ball, and make plays for others. Now, Davion Mitchell could be the guy who, after playing some of his best basketball in Miami, is going to be looking for the full mid-level exception. And will a team like Dallas trust that will transition over to a larger sample size? And is that also going to be a player, as in the past, people don't like signing Miami Heat role players because they don't really perform? Now, Trey Jones is like his older brother Tyus Jones, a safe floor general who won't make too many mistakes. He had a better year shooting three-point shots the past 2 years than for his career, but he's not going to be creating shots off the dribble or for himself all the time, just more on occasion. And outside of that, I mean, Malcolm Brogdon played 24 games. He seems like he's a Clippers guy. Same thing with Ben Simmons. Vazi Music seems like he's going to, back to Europe. And Campaign is someone that I think is staying in New York. Then you got Delano Banton, Monte Morris, went there into Phoenix with some excitement, but he averaged 5 points, 1.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists on 42% from the field, for 36% from three. Kyle Lowry allegedly wants to play one more season. I think he just runs it back with Philadelphia. I think DeLon Wright might be a little bit over the hedge, so you got slim pickings if you're the Dallas Mavericks in terms of young guys. So I think it's a trade target or a draft guy. And I don't think there's a lot of I think Walter Clayton's the guy you want to bring in the draft if you're the Dallas Mavericks. Let me know your thoughts.